if you could pass any bill, so now we're really out there, we're gonna, anything you want. If you could pass any bill that would advance liberty, and you're thinking about it, any bill, what would it be? If you could just do it today, the timing was right, your legislators were in place, and you could advance any bill today, Representative Sullivan, what would it be?
Absolutely get government out of competing with private business. Our government is so entwined in competing with the private sector, it just amazes me. And some of it is very subtle. You know, the forms of grants that are out there are not just federal grants, but state grants. Only certain entities can even apply for a grant, and they choose and pick who the winners and losers are. And I really hope, you know, we're going to talk about deregulation this legislative session. That's going to be a big part to remember that our government, you know, our colleges are competing every day against the private sector. I talked to our university up there in Jonesboro, Arkansas State University, and asked them how come they don't start cutting grass all over town. You know, they have more lawnmowers than anybody in town. And if they really wanted to make a bunch of money, they could just start doing everybody's lawn or open a John Deere factory. They pick and choose what businesses they compete with. And then from the state sector, the state side, you have a lot of quasi-governmental agencies, the community health centers, the community mental health centers, the area agencies on aging. All these different groups compete with the private sector every day, and in every case, the price goes up and your costs go up. You know, one of our biggest ones, competitors in the state of Arkansas, is UAMS. They compete on a statewide basis, and they do some great things, and I appreciate all the research they do. I appreciate what they do in education, but we have to remember they're an educational institution, not a private business. And we need to get government out of competing with the private sector in Arkansas.
And we especially need to get them out of medicine.
Yes.
We're slowly heading towards socialized medicine. And all you have to do is take a long, hard look at the history in other countries of socialized medicine. And you will see waiting lists, people waiting for months and even years for procedures that you can have here. But I guess one of the things I would really try to do is, you know, we all know small business makes up 70% of the jobs in the state of Arkansas and across the country as far as they go. We've got to get rid of some of these onerous regulations, at least 50% of them, that restrict small business from growing and hiring more people and even competing on a global scale. We have too many regulations in Arkansas. We're one of the most heavily regulated licensure states in the country, and we have a lot of duplication. You know, the state of Kansas has basically the same amount of people, 3 million people as Arkansas. We have 68,000 state workers. They have 32,000 state workers. How can Kansas do the same work with half the people? So that would be another area that I would certainly be looking into is how we could reduce the scope of some and the size of some of these state agencies where we have so much duplication and replication of.
Woo!
The question is, if you could be governor or God for the day, what would you change? Well, believe it or not, I've got a lot of thought of that. Do you realize that even if you own your own home in the state of Arkansas, you do not own your own home? You have to pay every year for the privilege of owning your home. Even if you've paid it off, you do not own your home, and you get to rent it every year. And if you don't pay your property taxes on October the 10th, you will get that little knock on the door and you will lose your home. To me, that's a travesty. You should own your own home. And that, again, keeps people down. So if you look at property taxes, and you look at estate, and you look at capital gains taxes, we punish people that save, work hard, and excel, and it should be just the opposite.